John Guion here, Awesomeness Alchemist, and I had a dream. So, it's rare that I have dreams, and this one was very vivid and really obvious in how it worked out. By the way, usually dream interpretations are complete garbage, and they're from stored memories. But once you've cleared up the upload of stored memories to the brain, you can actually download from the crown chakra. Hence, download from the higher brain function to the third eye, eyes, and out the mouth. Simple, really. So, this dream was, this was great. So, I was taken back to my childhood home, but with my now present powerful self. And little did we know that the Pope and his entourage turned up at my house for, a little spiritual ceremony, somewhat of an exorcism in a way. Interesting, huh? So, of course, as we know, the Pope is simply a symbol of the Catholic Church. And it doesn't really matter who the person is, it's a symbol. And just a reminder of what is the penalty for worshipping false gods. Those who have not achieved enlightenment, crown chakra opening, and calling themselves healers and gurus and leaders and spiritual teachers and stuff, haven't done it. Get it done. Enlightenment is basic level. So 6 years ago for me. You should have it done within 3 years of spiritual development, from the point where you can meditate and ask questions with stillness. So, back to the dream. So, the Pope and his entourage turn up at my place. Bit of a surprise, but they're coming to me, in my house. Right? So, they come, they do some little ceremonies and start preaching and all that sort of garbage. And I'm sitting there going, telling anybody who's next to me, it's like, hang on, see that spider veins on that part of the brain, on that part of the head, and that part of the body? It indicates a spleen deficiency, and therefore there's toxic pathogens there. And as we know, the parasites within a person's body are, the serpent symbolism is that of a devil or a demon. It's in all the symbolism, Adam and Eve story, we surely figured that out. Oh, by the way, if you haven't got past the whole Catholic Church and religion in its entirety, you really should have got past that and at least seen them as storytelling that we can learn lessons from and basic level esoteric training. You should have seen past that through the age of 10. Primary school stuff. Really, but as we know, old people, if you don't do the work, in other words, do the work with dedicated, devoted discipline, then you can end up back in your 3 and 5 and 10-year-old self and get worse as you get older and become essentially a sheeple zombie in a nursing home who's completely useless to anybody. So the system will knock you off because those were the results of your choices. Back to the dream. But remembering that when consciousness comes in any form, it's the very nature of consciousness itself, everything is real. Whether it be a story, a teaching, a lesson, something in meditation, a dream, same but different. And I'm sitting there and, for me, now I've got some extra power, by the way, 12 kilos of extra muscle, pec dancing style. With this weaponized 5G bullshit, you can use the frequencies for your own good and ideally for your higher self if you have more of your bodily resources in the top half of your body and less in the negative bottom half of the body. You'll be able to use the frequencies for your highest good, manifesting dreams, beneficial things, Yeah, dominate the frequencies of the matrix would be my suggestion. But you have to be able to do that with integrity. Handy that. So they're doing this little ceremony and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get up and open this window, put this fan on here, put this incense there. And then I just stood up and I called it. With integrity, boom, you're a demon. You might call yourself a pope or whatever, but if you've got more of your mucus plaque-laden toxic body with a funk ton of parasites contained within there, and you don't own it with cleanly defined muscle, then you don't own your body. And you're the embodiment of the devil or a demon. A walking demon, essentially. Muji, calling you. Shakti Durga, calling you. If you're morbidly obese, you're a demon. And you might spread out nice, beautiful things, but you're doing it through your body and your own chakra system, which you do not have under your own control. You're a demon. That's how it is. Suck it up. Fix it. And so I called it straight on the Pope. Boom. Have some of this action. And then I'm telling everybody, this is how the body works. This is how your nervous system works. This is how basic circuit works through your bioelectrics in your systems. So, if you're not strong, clean and lean, now's the time to get it done. And so processing, well, I don't really process much. It's just instant acceptance is much more beneficial that I'm working on. Because if you haven't accepted it and you start making up stories and attaching all sorts of things to it, there's nothing you can do about it. You're still in processing and you haven't figured it out from your own illusion. So what I figured out, and all the power that come through me today, especially after aligning and doing a bit of gym as a regular daily practice, then we now have the integrity and the ability and the vibrational frequency in one being that is entirely covered and dominated the frequencies of all of the beings in the Catholic Church. Oomph! Have some. Cop that. Vibrational frequency. And, by the way, the sacrament of the ordained minister, that's a crown chakra. You have to open it, otherwise if you don't, you will get called on it. We can all see through bullshit. If you haven't done it, you'll get called on it and your lower self will dominate. So the top half, or the top part of the brain, vibrationally through your chakra system, nervous system, all of them really, is the same as the bottom half from your coccyx down, where all the gunk is. So if you've got a tension on the spine, that we all do, that's where all the gunk is. Got to be a proper ordained minister, and an awakened crown chakra, if you want to call it. And if you want to think you're a spiritual teacher, have to have done this. It took me a year post-Enlightenment to download the frequencies and understand spirituality with integrity. By the way, spirituality tops out at 17 dimensions. So, it's a system designed to get you to think and change and upgrade and manage your bodies and your systems to be able to accomplish that. So, if you're going to use spiritual teachings, better have it with integrity from a crown chakra. Oh, and by the way, now that I've dominated the frequencies of the entire Catholic Church and all the beings contained within, who are generally worshipping demons, and the penalty of that is if it was an egoic death, that'd be helpful. But when we understand that the ego, or the environmental gut organism, is the one that is actually subconsciously controlling sheeple, then you're going to end up just self-sabotaging with everything you do, because your nervous system is controlled by a whole bunch of viruses, parasites, fungus, and associated toxicity. So, with integrity, now I can take it down. The Catholic Church and all the calling and all of that garbage. Oh, by the way, that's all going on. Down the bottom part of the body, where there are single and multi-cell organisms, generally a ton of parasites. You'd never believe how many hundreds of meters of gunk is in your body. It's ridiculous. After 7 years, I can say that with integrity. Over 450 meters of mucus and gunk, plus another 250 tennis balls size of dried mucus, removed in the last 2 years, after 5 years of daily discipline, dedicated, devoted detoxification. Yeah, that's how much shit's in there. It's ridiculous. Anyone who's big and obese and got no muscle tone, thousands of meters. That's why they can't control their own mind. And those demons that are controlling the nervous system, so there's a circuit here, and at the end of it, oh look, there's a parasite's controlling your behavior. Oh, the demons are controlling you. Sucks, doesn't it? But now that you're watching it, guess what? I'm taking it for you. In the ether, kind of. But now that you're aware of it, you can actually do something about it. So colonics or colonic irrigation or coffee enemas are sensational. And then, now we've dominated the frequencies of the Catholic Church and the crap that they come up with, we can take it down with integrity. How about being the champion in your own life? Oof.